Hare Krishna. I would like to welcome all of you to this program. Is everyone familiar with this kind of meditation, kirtan meditation? Is there anyone who meets this kirtan meditation for the first time? You and you? Very nice. Today we will discuss very interesting topic. I assume it is very interesting for all of you. And in fact, what is spiritual journey and where we should go in our spiritual journey? What is our destination? First, I would like to ask you, do you use some GPS system like Google Maps or something? Yes. You're all familiar with it. So, if you use Google Maps, what you should put in? Destination. Yes, destination is one thing.
Current location.
So the place
And current location, exactly. So, and then what Google Maps does?
Give different ways.
Give the way to our goal. So we should, of course, know our destination. Otherwise, where we should go. And we should know our location. So Vedas explain this in different manners. For example, in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, this a beautiful book on God, it means. It is explained, there was a big gathering of sages 5,000 years ago in the forest called Naimisharanya. Many thousands of sages gathered together, and they asked Sutta Goswami, great sage, to speak to them about the greatest wisdom. And they said to him, Burini Buri Karmani Shrotavyani Vibhavasha Ataksadotrayat Saram Samudita Manisha Bruki Badraya Bhutanam Yanatma Suprasidati. In Vedas there are described many different ways, and there are different prescriptions what to do and what not to do. So many rituals and other things. Please, you have studied everything. Tell us what is the essence. What is the essence of everything? By which the soul can become suprasidati. Prasidati means satisfied, happy. And su is prefix that means extremely. That means extremely satisfied, extremely happy, blissful. So everyone, Vedas declare that everyone wants to be happy. This is our goal. Ananda mayo vyasat. Ananda means blissful. So by nature we are beings seeking pleasure. We cannot be satisfied if we don't experience pleasure. So every our thought, every our word, every our action is in fact, if we know it or not, is searching for pleasure. Why have you come here? You must certainly have come to somehow or other bring your life some quality time. isn't it? So, to be closer to this ultimate goal. And whether this is a human being or an animal or even an ant, everyone is seeking pleasure, is seeking satisfaction, is trying to be superseded. Yes. So that is our destination. You can put in Google Maps superseded. Yes, but we should also know our current location, and then only we can know the route to our goal. Otherwise, if we just know where is the goal, the location of the goal, but we don't know where we are, we can go in completely opposite direction from our goal. And although everyone wants to be happy, we can see that majority of the world is miserable. But everyone, in fact, is miserable. So they go in the wrong direction. They don't know the mystery, how to become superseded. Yes. So, and Sutta Goswami answered this question in the next chapter. And he said, Pumsam parodharmo yato bhaktira dokshate ahetuke pratigata yayatma suprasiddhi. And this means that Bhagavata-dharma, the highest dharma, the ultimate path to achieve this state of supersedity is ahetuki bhakti. Bhakti means love. And ahetuki means unconditional. Unconditional love. So if we have conditional love, I love you because you're beautiful, because you're rich, because you're funny, because you're so intelligent, or anything else, this is conditional love. And it will not bring us the state of supersedity. It will be some satisfaction for some limited time, because Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, you maybe know, everyone knows Bhagavad-Gita. This is the basic book of Eastern wisdom. You have Bhagavad-Gita?
No.
No?
We have in Russian.
Okay.
In Russian is this one.
I haven't. I distributed all and I have just on my phone.
Okay. So you can show it on your phone. So it is said, Yehi sansparshasha bhoga dukkha yona evati adyantavantah kantena teshuramati. That those who are intelligent, they don't try to seek happiness in material enjoyments. Why not? Because everyone is trying to experience material enjoyments, different kinds of material enjoyments, in food, in sex, in different relationships, whatever we encounter, we try to enjoy. But why Bhagavad-Gita is advising us not to seek pleasure in this way? What do you think?
temporary.
Yes, exactly. Because it's temporary. And more we are attached to some kind of happiness, because it has its beginning and its end, it will bring us misery. Dukkha yonaya, it says. It gives birth to misery. Because no sane person wants that his pleasure ends. It would be insane. I hardly wait that this pleasure ends. If we enjoy something, we don't want that this enjoyment is ending. So, but this world is by definition temporary. Everything is temporary here. So, the very thing that brings us most happiness brings us the most suffering. So, this is not the way to search for a state of supersedity. And therefore, Sutta Goswami is explaining that this is attained only to ahetuki bhakti, unconditional love, to adokshaja. Adokshaja is absolute reality, which is beyond sense perception. Do you agree that anything exists? Is there anyone who disagrees that something exists? So we all agree that something exists. If something exists, then everything exists. And if everything exists, then it means that there is absolute. And if absolute is really on the absolute platform, it should have everything that has its parts, isn't it? Otherwise, it would lack something. It wouldn't be absolute anymore. If it would be less than its components. So absolute has to include everything that its parts have. So because living entities, we have our personality, our feelings, our likings and dislikings, and ideas. So absolute, if it's really absolute, also should have its personality, its existence, and so on. Otherwise, it would be lacking absolute. It wouldn't be absolute anymore. Vedas often compare this. It's like a living entity, for example, is like a drop of water, and absolute is like an ocean. Ocean, of course, has everything that this drop of water contains, isn't it? But of course, ocean has much more traits and characteristics than just a drop of water. But drop of water, of course, is nothing else than the ocean, but just tiny, infinitesimal part of the ocean. So, Vedas explain that we are also parts of the absolute whole, and that in fact we are always connected in service. In fact, its nature of the living entity is to serve. For every state of existence is in fact this characteristic. we all serve. Hare Krishna. We all serve. Even the most egoistic personality you can imagine serves from morning till evening. From the start of the day, he's serving. When he wakes up, because Vedas explained that we are not this body. This is an important factor that we should understand. We are not this body. This body is always changing. It's like a whirlwind of some elements. For example, scientists say that every 7 years we change all the cells of the body. So I believe we all many times changed our body, except this baby here. He's protesting. Everyone else have changed the body many times. So, for example, if we take a picture when we were born, from the day we were born, in our hand, and in other hand we take a mirror, we see it's completely different personality. Completely different personality. Where did this baby go? It died. In fact, in Bible this is explained: from dust you are, and in dust you will return. So this baby returned to dust. There's nothing more, because we are always changing this body, always changing, not that in some particular time just changes, all the time is changing. In one side we bring new elements in this whirlwind, and on the other side we flush out of our body some elements. So it's in constant flux. Yes. So we are not this body. And this body is ever changing, and the soul, the spirit, this living force is always the same. It's explained in the second chapter of Bhagavata-dharma. Najayati mriyati bhakti-yoga bhutva bhakti-yoga ajoni tyakshashvatayam purano nahanyati hanimani shariri. This living entity, this living force was never created and will not be created, and it's ever existing and never dies. It's primeval, so it's eternal. It cannot be destroyed in any way. It's completely transcendental to material reality. So, to come back to this egoistic personality who gets up early in the morning or late in the morning, but he starts serving his body immediately. He's not his body, but goes to the toilet, wash this body, broom this body, give some food to the body, and ornament the body, clothe the body, fully occupied with the body, gives to the mind something, some satisfaction, because Vedas explain that also the mind is not this living force, it's also material body, but it's subtle material body. Vedas explain that we have gross material bodies, like one we can see, and we have subtle material body, composed of mind, intelligence, and false ego, that we identify with something that we are not. These are our elements of our subtle body. So, the fact is, as I explained, that the nature of living entity is to always serve. So, and love is expressed only by service, by nothing else. How can you express love without service? And this service brings you most satisfaction. Because if you make happy someone you really love, it's the most satisfactory for your heart. So this is the secret of how to be superseded. Yes. But the problem is that for all material relationships will end because they are temporary. And not that they are just temporary, they are also imperfect. Because living entities are not perfect, because they are not absolute. How can they be perfect? They are imperfect by definition. So, and we have all this experience that everyone is imperfect, that we ourselves are imperfect, and also others are imperfect. In connection with this, I heard some interesting statement of one personality. He said, it's interesting that no one knows so many bad things about me than I myself. But no one has so good opinion about me like myself. So, yes, I wanted to say that in order to be happy, we shouldn't seek these imperfect relationships. Of course, we can have also relationships in this world. This is natural. And they should be very loving and caring. But our goal, because we put in Google Maps or Soul Maps, Soul Maps, we put destination Adokshacha. Adokshacha means the absolute reality, absolute personality, which is beyond sense perception, which is an absolute platform. So we should develop relationship, this absolute relationship, which is everlasting, beyond birth and death, and ever fulfilling. And the main process to achieve this is now today seen here. First is to hear about this process. It's called Shravanam in Sanskrit, Shravana, hearing. And the second is Kirtana, is chanting, is singing and chanting mantra, meditation. You heard this, we sang together these holy names of the Lord, and they connect us with His absolute personality. And this is not just some sectarian path from India or somewhere, but it's universal. In every spiritual tradition, bona fide spiritual tradition, there is chanting of the holy names. For example, Jesus said, "Hallowed be thy name." And in Psalms, in Old Testament, it is stated, "Whoever calls upon the name of the Lord, he will be saved." And even in Islam, they have 99 names of Allah. And even the Buddhists also call upon the names of Lord Buddha. So we can see that this is a universal path, especially for this age. Vedas explain that we live in the age of Kali. Kali means quarrel and hypocrisy. And I'm sure everyone has this experience, that we live in the age of quarrel and hypocrisy.
Age of quarrel.
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 Yes, quarrel and hypocrisy. So, yes, and this chanting is extremely powerful because Absolute is on the Absolute platform, and the name of the Absolute is Absolute, like Absolute itself. So there is no difference between Absolute and the name of the Absolute. So when we chant the holy name, we connect directly to this Absolute Personality. And we connect deeply, more deep and deeply. So we use both types of meditation, like kirtan, in singing together, like today, and also in mantra meditation, if we chant on beats, like this. Meditational beats. And you can chant like this: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then you go to the next beat: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. And so around and around. And one round of these beats is 108 beats. These are this 108 is very special number. There are 108 energies of love of the Lord. The most important energies of the Lord. There are 108 Upanishads, main Upanishads. And for example, the Christian rosemary have exactly half the number of this, 54, and Islamic has 27, and it means fourth of 108. Everything is divided, can be divided from 108. So this is a very special sacred number. And I invite every one of you, even those who don't use this type of meditation, to try and make an experiment, scientific experiment. And you will see it brings us great joy and the state of supersiddhi. And not only now, it will bring us an eternal state of supersiddhi. And this is what we are all searching for. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Do you have any questions or comments?
I think it's great. Everything, the information was very complete and a lot of knowledge. Definitely. It was great to share with you guys.
You are from Berlin?
No, from Mexico.
From Mexico?
Yeah.
You're original from Mexico? Have you ever heard about this kind of meditation?
I have done like hatha yoga, but never kirtan.
Hatha yoga is a process of meditation. With, these are these bodily postures. It's a part of Ashtanga yoga. Yes, Hatha yoga. It's a part of Ashtanga yoga, and it is meant to bring us to this level of understanding through bodily postures and through meditation. And first by yama and niyama, by following the rules and regulations. And it's takes many years and thousands of years to get real perfection. But this is very easy type of meditation, and it's most sublime. There's chanting from the Himalayan, which is especially suitable for this age of Kali.
I'm grateful for this session, and I'm thrilled for the next one.
Great, thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, please.
That's a very beautiful talk. You've come far on the path of enlightenment, I feel. Thank you. I would like to ask you to comment on the idea of attachment, seeking attachment to the higher being as a mechanism of detachment from material things as well as loved ones, which are also temporary. So, a way of trusting the gifts of the higher being that are temporary, and trusting when they're also taken away. So we surrender to that trust as a helping tool to detachment.
So, if I understood you correctly, you're asking if we can connect with this absolute personality, but getting detached from matter.
As in, let's say, there are certain very strong attachments. Let's say we have human relationships, parent and child. Those are temporary.
Yes.
And when we lose them, we are not quite prepared often to see that they were gifts and they were temporary gifts. There is a time that they will be taken away, and to
Yes.
trust that because perhaps it's easier to detach from material things. Those can also be gifts, and this could be a little more difficult. But a perspective of those gifts being temporary and trusting the higher power with whatever time was allowed to us with that.
Yes. What you said is true. We are very attached to our relationships, especially relationship with our wife or husband or children, especially. In this science of self-realization, that it is this bhakti-yoga. This is bhakti-yoga. Bhakti is this unconditional love, we explained. And in fact, this bhakti is we can say, the rule which spiritual path is bona fide. For example, Jesus was asked which is the most important commandment, and he said to love their God with all your heart and soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. So this is Ahikiki Bhakti. And in this science of self-realization, we spiritualize all our existence. That means that we spiritualize also our bodily relationships with our friends, with our family members, and so on. That means that we should understand what is the goal of life. We shouldn't lose this goal. And we should also, because we know, as Jesus said, and not just to love your God with all your heart, but also to love your neighbor. So if you know that this is the best for you and for everyone, because this is the goal we all seeking, to be supersedity, so we should also try to give others this, to our family members, to other relationships we have. So yes, although it's painful when this relationship ends, it's not painful in the sense that this person died, because we have deeper understanding, especially if this person was connected with this absolute personality, absolute reality. So we can we feel some separation from this person, we miss them, but we rejoice for them, because they had this relationship with the Lord, and this gives us
A sense.
Sorry?
A sense.
This gives us conviction that they succeeded in their life. So we are happy for them. We don't just suffer when the relationship ends. Of course, this relationship will bring us material suffering, because our mind will suffer, and because we'll miss them. But mind is also a material element, so we don't put so much stress on this. Okay, it is painful to lose someone who is your loved one, but we can still do something for them if we develop this love for God. We can still pray for them, and so serve them even after they're gone. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anything else?
Can you emphasize more on the mind being a material element?
Yes, Krishna explains in 7th chapter of Bhagavata-dharma, Bhumirapo nalo vayu kamano buddhirevacha ahankareti me vina prakriti mashtada. There are 8 material elements, 5 gross, this earth, water, fire, ether, air, gross material elements, and there are 3, mind, intelligence, and false ego. So our mind is designed to maintain our material existence. Therefore, and to enjoy, in fact, we want to enjoy, because we are supersedity, we seek supersedity existence in material world, because we are conditioned to material life. So the mind is designed to make us superseded in material world, that makes our body and mind superseded. So therefore the mind craves for something which is tasteful, which is beautiful to see, which is beautiful to hear, which is beautiful and good smelling, and so on. And what is beautiful, for example, to read, different things that mind interpret that brings us happiness. But there is also intelligence, which is also designed to keep our material existence. This is the purpose of material mind and material intelligence, to keep our material existence. And intelligence directs mind, this is good enjoyment and this is not good enjoyment. Many times the mind is more powerful than our intelligence, so we overeat. Intelligence says, no, it's enough, but mind says, just another bite. Or anything else like this. So the Vedas say that there are two kinds of happiness. One is Shreyas and one is Preyas. Preyas means that which is good for the senses, which is pleasing for the senses. And Shreyas means that which is ultimately beneficial. And in temporary sense, we can see also this in this way. So people who want to achieve something, for example, they want to be successful in their studies, they abstain from some enjoyments in order to devote their lives to study. If someone wants to be Olympic winner in some sport, he must be very austere in his life. Train very hard every day, not eat just any food, just pizza in the evening. Or anything like this. Very strict life. Because he has a long-term goal. But
so that's Shreyas.
That is material Shreyas.
Okay.
But
not Preyas.
It is Preyas in the sense that it will end sooner or later because it's material. But those who are self-realized, or who are at least on the path of self-realization, they know what is eternally beneficial and what is not. And so they judge everything according to this eternal perspective. So this will bring me eternal benefit. And this won't bring me eternal benefit. This will be just a temporary benefit. For example, gross example of temporary satisfaction is some junkie. He wants to enjoy, so he takes a shot of some drugs, and he's enjoying for maybe an hour or two. But for those who are healthy persons, they don't envy him. Oh, he's so enjoying. But they pity him. So he's so in such an awkward position. He's really suffering. His enjoyment we perceive as suffering, not as enjoyment, in fact. He so suffers. Poor thing. So, one who is spiritually awake, he sees that every material endeavor in this sense, because people are foaming at the mouth to achieve something, or just to live. But if they live without purpose, or with some material purpose, which will definitely end, we pity them. Because we know this is just a suffering, just a question of time when it will be suffering. Also for them. They think now it's enjoyment, or they looking forward for some enjoyment. But we know it will end and they will suffer. So the spiritually awake person is para-dukkha dukhi, the one who suffers because of others' suffering. Because he knows that people are suffering now and they will suffer also in the future, because they don't know for the path that leads to the state of superseded. Because everyone wants to be superseded. This is natural, but very rarely people know what leads to the state of superseded. Krishna explains in 7th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, Manushyanam sahasrshu kaschitati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam karshanam viti tattva. Among many thousands of men, maybe one is interesting in something higher. And from those who have achieved the goal, very rarely one knows me in truth. This absolute personality. So, I invite you all to associate with these wonderful devotees. I'm coming from abroad, so I was living on Wednesday, but here are many wonderful devotees who can give you their saintly association and help you to approach this absolute personality. Hare Krishna. Anything else?
Maybe one question.
Yes.
About 3-4 months ago, I attended a course on Vipassana, and I see some similarities. Everything is about change, anicca, and everything's coming to an end. Everything is on a constant state of evolvement.
Yes.
There's some, and to be aware of one's own state of, I don't know, feelings, or and there's some differences, like in Vipassana you don't have the chanting. What is your take on that? Or do you see some more differences or similarities, or yeah? I'm interested to hear on this.
Yes. What is the goal of Vipassana?
The goal of Vipassana is to get rid of your perception of something as positive or negative, just to accept reality as it is. I think that was the main, and to not judge on yourself or others or what's happening.
So, in fact, to become some kind of witness, if I understood that.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's like difficult to, like ordering, sit and you can't speak anything, and you can't even talking with some sign also. Yeah, like eye contact, you can't do it like that. You just sit and just stay, and then you just feel your inhale, exhale.
Yes, in fact, this may be beneficial for self-awareness. And awareness of everything around yourself. That you take a step back and just observe and understand the nature of activities and so on. But this will not make you happy. This is not the state of supersedity. This is maybe state of peace, but not state of satisfaction, the enjoyment, in fact. So, what we are talking about is some kind of mode of goodness. It is explained, there are three modes of existence in the material world. Sattva guna, Raja guna and Tama guna. That means the mode of goodness, mode of passion and mode of ignorance that influences everything in this material world. So, goodness will make us peaceful and materially satisfied, but it will not bring us to the transcendental platform. Will not realize our spiritual self, nor we will realize the relationship with the Absolute Personality. So, therefore, it is explained that this bhakti, which is Paramasvatantra, is completely independent, is the necessity for every path to achieve its own goal. Even if you want to achieve any goal, you have also practice bhakti. That means some devotion you should include. Otherwise you cannot achieve your goal. But for practicing bhakti, you don't need any other process. So Bhagavad Gita, I mentioned Bhagavad Gita, and I really recommend everyone to read Bhagavad Gita as it is, because there are many different versions of Bhagavad Gita. So search for Bhagavad Gita as it is. It has also the title Bhagavad Gita as it is. How is it in German?
Wie sie ist.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Like this. So, and you should study, especially with the help of the devotees, and regularly hear about this Krishna conscious philosophy, because this is the science of consciousness, how to connect ourselves in loving relationship. Because basically we all seek for loving relationships. No one can be happy without relationship. No one. Our basic need is to love and to be loved. In fact, if we wouldn't be loved, no one would exist. Because you would be thrown in the bin. At least to such extent they loved us that they brought us up somehow or other. Sometimes it really happens. It happens that the babies are thrown in the bin. So it's tragic. It happens. So we should search for the path that can bring us to the highest relationship with the absolute personality. If we are not following the path that brings us to this relationship with the absolute personality, then we are wasting our time on something that is not as important as we think. Because then of course we all have faith in whatever we do that is important for our life. It's natural. And most probably it's quite important. But it will not give us the state of supersivity. But we want to be supersivity. Every living entity wants to be supersivity. So we should follow also, along with those other things that are important for us, we should follow this path, how to become supersivity. Yes. It's not exclusivistic. Either you do this or nothing. Black or white. No. So you can live your own life and just apply this science, because this is science, how to connect with the absolute personality, with absolute reality. It's the science of self-realization. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Any other question or comment? Any from Russian devotees? Sorry?
When I told that she's very grateful, she just wants to express gratitude to you.
Thank you.
I have one small comment.
Yes, please.
So if I understand from this conversation, is that it's both can be achieved. Like you can achieve the final enlightenment or feel happy at the bigger purpose of life. But at the same side, we can also have purpose in this life.
Yes.
Both have to be in balance.
In fact, the balance is if our goals, which are in this life, make in alignment with this ultimate purpose. If these are against our purpose, that, for example, that bring our consciousness to the mode of darkness, for example, drinking alcohol or taking drugs and so on, are destructive for our consciousness. So this is not beneficial. This should be given up. Or cheating, or killing animals, anything like this. So these things will distract us from our real goal. So are definitely not beneficial for us. So such things cannot be in alignment with our goal, so they should be given up. But other things, we can strive for them, but real balance is to align them with our goal, that they are not in the way of our goal, that otherwise they will become an obstacle in our progress to achieve the state of supersivity. And this state of supersivity, this should be known. It's not just something after death, because many times people think that these states of perfection can be achieved after death, and they count that death is some kind of miracle that brings us some state of perfection. No, death is not a miracle. Krishna explains in 8th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, Yam yam bhakti smaram bhavanti ajantyanti kalyoram tantam aveti kantaya sadata bhava. Whatever state of consciousness one has at this time of death, you just continue this same state of consciousness. Same state of consciousness. So, if you want to live in spiritual world after we die, we should live in spiritual world now. If you want to go to heaven after death, we should live in heaven now. If we live just ordinary material life, after death we will live ordinary material life. There is no miracle. Death is not a miracle. You should understand this and apply this, because many times people, religious people especially, they count on this miracle. They can live ordinary material life, be relatively happy and miserable in this material life, and then they count, yes, when I die I'll go to some heavenly planets or spiritual world or whatever. But this is just fanciful thought without any scientific ground, spiritual scientific ground.
What about choosing your work or purpose? And how do you do it? Like, how do you make the alignment?
How do you choose your work?
How do you choose your purpose? In this life?
Your purpose is to become happy, isn't it? Even if you go to study something, for example medicine or something, you want to be happy. Especially if this is your inclination and your nature, and you want to study something that is in your nature, isn't it? Yeah. Or maybe you go to study something just because of greed. This job will bring me most good salary. so maybe someone chooses his studies because of this. But also if one goes to study by this motivation, he counts that this money will bring him satisfaction. So everyone wants to be happy. Everyone seeks this state of supersedity, in fact. So whatever we do, we should know, apply this spiritual science, what is really brings us the state of supersedity, and make all other life in alignment with this goal. If we forget about this, then we'll definitely suffer, and just suffer. It is explained in 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It said, Sukhaya dukkha mokshaya sankalpa iha karana sadapnoti khaya dukkham anikha sukhavata. The people in this world, Sukhaya dukkha moksha. Sukhaya means happiness and dukkha means suffering. Moksha. They want to be happy. They strive very hard to be happy and to be rid of misery. And this is their sankalpa, the firm conviction that they will achieve happiness and that they will be rid of misery. But sadapnoti khaya dukkham. They always end in misery. They have firm conviction to achieve happiness and to be rid of misery. But everything they achieve always is misery. only those who devote to this suprasidati goal in relationship with the Absolute, they're enveloped in happiness. They're always happy, regardless of their position in this material world. One may be king, or one may be living in the street, but if he has this consciousness, he's always happy. But if he doesn't have this consciousness, he may be a king, or maybe living in the street, always miserable. So this is the secret. Therefore it's called Uttama Rahasya. Uttama Rahasya. Rahasya means secret, and Uttama is the highest or transcendental. Tamas means darkness, material world. And Uttama is what is beyond darkness, on the transcendental platform. But it's open secret for everyone who wants to reach out, who wants to reach it, he can achieve this. Yes. We just have to apply our intelligence. That's everything. Hare Krishna. Okay. Anything else? Okay, then the next program is.
Thank you very much for your wonderful lecture. I hope I can see it afterwards on the video.